Welcome to this week's edition of Mainly Motorsports. Here again with Greg Emerson, and
I'm becoming a mainstay.
But not a letdown after our 250 episode, but that came out great. I really appreciate all the help of everybody that made that possible. We
had it was nice a good time.
And I heard from a lot of people this weekend that really enjoyed seeing what we did up there.
Yeah, it was fun. It was good to actually get to do some interviews, and it was my first forte into it. I hope they came out all right.
Yeah,
I thought they did.
It was a good time. I really enjoyed it, and the ACT Tour, even though the 250 isn't an ACT race, it is in a sense. But it's like the biggest thing that those guys race for. And
it's a late model race.
Yeah, so they all showed up, and then this past weekend, they showed up down to Beach Ridge, and a guy that we really didn't talk much about in our post-race interview, but would have loved to talk to him a lot as a winner, because the guy deserves that 250 win, and that's Jeff Taylor. Picked up the win there at Beach Ridge this weekend.
Yeah, him and Wayne Hallowell put on a great battle for the win. They had a late caution, and once the Hound Dog broke free, he checked out. But
hey, that had to be a good night for Ford Racing. Both of them under the Ford camp, Mike Delahunty and the Ford Racing
Joey Cole
camp.
had an unfortunate incident, but he was in the top three when he had to go to the pits and get something fixed. But he was mowing through the field. Probably the fastest car on the track.
So it's that ACT Tour, they put on some good racing. They've been back at Beach Ridge for a few years, and now the different winner.
Yeah, it's another different winner, but it was a winner from Maine, and a lot of people assume that the ACT Tour is a Vermont/Canada based organization, but there are a lot of drivers from New Hampshire, and there are a lot of drivers from Maine in it. Out of the top 15, 7 of the top finishes out of the top 15 were from Maine, and 3 were from Vermont, and 3 were from New Hampshire, and 1 was from Mass, and 1 was from New York.
Yeah, so
that's spread out right
all
there.
over New England, and then the main guy that announced before the race that it was his last career race behind the wheel of a race car, Greg Peters, who used to run the old Charger division up there at Oxford, and then has raced every division known to man at Beach Ridge. Finished his career down in the trees, right?
Yeah, it was unfortunate. I don't know what happened. I just saw him go off the top of 3 and 4 really fast, and I was glad to hear he was okay. I guess he put her in the pucker brush.
Probably not the way he wanted to finish his career, but good career for Greg Peters. He's still involved in a couple of teams in the pits, and and that's a guy that you like to see when they get down out of the seat, they maintain in the sport.
Yeah, and
doing something
he's a
else.
good guy, and he's fun to talk to and hang out with.
Yeah, so glad to see that he was all right when they pulled him out of the pucker brushes.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, I spent a wild and crazy weekend up to Richmond Karting Speedway.
Yeah,
and
you look tired.
I'm beat. But I'll tell you, Saturday, it was free. And this is something I think these tracks ought to look at in the state. Tom Mayberry last year, the Pass South, did a few events where they charge by the carload. As many as you pack in, it's $10, $20 to park your car, and you go watch the race. They had a full house. Well, up at Richmond Saturday, the driver paid the race. That was it. Anybody else that came, crew members, family members, it was all free. And there was a lot of people that heard the advertisements on the TV show, the advertisements on the radio, that just decided to show up and check it out and see what it was all about. And they had over 1,000 people there.
Really?
And it was
1,000 people
at the go-kart races.
So it was standing room only.
Yeah, they were packed around, and and Crustacean, the monster truck, was there on display. Well, then they decided they're going to do a little bit more on display. You're going to put him on the infield and rip it up. And I'm going to tell you, he ripped it up. There was mud flying, and as you see by these photos, he put on a display, and that crowd went wild. So just maybe they've hit on something. I know they're going to do it again next year. Maybe tracks around, and you see the photos, the crowd shots, and it's just what a great time of racing they had Saturday and Sunday. And these kids are really getting into it. This Sunday, DJ Shaw showed up. Why did DJ Shaw show up? Because he's getting ready for the Mainly Motorsports TV 400. He wants to take home a $3,000 payday at a go-kart race. $3,000 somebody can possibly take home by winning both of the senior races, the senior sportsman and the animal unrestricted, and then get the $500 bonus. So that's a pretty good payday for a guy running a go-kart.
It's a pretty good payday in anything.
Yeah, so mark your calendars, September 10th and 11th. for the Mainly Motorsports
Sports
TV
400.
400, because that is going to be the place to be. I know Unity and Bangor are both running Saturday night, but Sunday you want to come down and you want to witness some of the best racing you'll see. Kids, adults, everybody racing for
And
a 6
big hardware.
the biggest hardware you'll see at a track in the state of Maine, anywhere. For
Right.
2011. There's nobody that's going to give out any hardware any bigger than what I'm
I
going
think
to
I
do.
challenged you to make it bigger than last year.
And we have made it bigger last year. It's prettier. Nothing against what Kyle Busch just took back to him at Oxford, but I'll compare the trophies of what my first place guy gets and what he got.
Right.
And this stuff is awesome. So, you know, mark your calendars. It was a great time. It was a great weekend. And then speaking of the go-karting thing, one of their, what do they
Right,
call them,
yeah.
graduates?
Yeah.
Had to call an 11-year-old kid a graduate.
Right.
But Cameron Lovejoy graduated from go-karts, moved into the main mod series, and they traveled this weekend to
New
Canaan,
Hampshire, Canaan,
and then Twin State, the old
Yep.
Claremont, and won them both.
Yeah,
So-
that's a big deal. I mean, he's 11 years old. This is his first season running the car, I believe.
Yep.
And he comes home with the win. I saw last night that he'd won at Canaan, and then we got word today that he won at Twin State.
So that's pretty amazing feat, you know. So congratulations to the Lovejoy family and Cameron.
Right.
You know, a good little racer, and you know that's pretty amazing.
Where'd we get that feedback from that he won today?
Oh, just the Kook, my buddy the Kook. I call him Luke the Kook. His name's Mike Lux, but I call him Luke the Kook. But good guy for motorsports. Sponsors my daughter, so you know everybody that knows Mike, you know he's.
Everybody that knows Luxie, he's involved.
Oh yeah, he's involved. So you know. Great, you saw some great racing at the Beaches. The other series were involved. You know, here's a picture of the winner in the Pro Series. Excuse me, Joey Dwyer, and you know, getting his first win out of the way down there, and he's been close before and had a real tough year. So that's good for him.
Good thing for their family. I mean, his parents put a lot of heart and soul into their team, and they deserve it as much as anybody. You know, they're great supporters of him and his racing, and great people to know. You know.
Yeah. So there's that, and then we got the Sports Series
where Marcel Chevette won the Sports Series features Saturday night at Beech Ridge.
Yeah, and then the Wildcat, Keith Stewart, with his first win down there, and you know,
so that was 3 first-time winners right there.
You'll notice running across the scroll, and notice a lot of businesses running across the scroll, but you'll see Stewart Recycling, one of our scroll sponsors. So you know, a lot of races step up to help this program out.
And then Dave Cameron, sitting on the trailer all afternoon because he can't practice or anything, comes out and wins the feature in the Roadrunners. So.
Yeah, but you want to go to the gossip corner, I call it, mainracing.com, because there was, what I always understand after Saturday night, there was a lot of tech issues. You know, some of them probably overblown and out of proportion.
The gossip corner.
The gossip corner. That's where you'll get every piece of information you ever thought you needed in life.
If you like reading people arguing with each other,
oh yeah, they argue about everything. So, so congratulations to all those people, and we got a great show planned today. We're gonna talk about some upcoming things this weekend that I have planned. But then in 2 weeks, Summerfest.
Summerfest is going to be awesome.
August 14th, you know, and mark it on your calendar. Come down, $5 to get in. You have a free hot dog and a hamburger. And we got a lot of interviews today from some people that are going to be heavily involved in that, and you know, get you kind of pumped up for it. So, you know, we're going to
get pumped up for Summerfest.
Pumped up for Summerfest. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back on Mainly Motorsports.
5 years ago, I went shopping for my family's first camper. I didn't like the prices, and I didn't like the way I was treated. A year later, I opened up Scott's Recreation.
Today, Scott's Recreation is Maine's exclusive multi-line Heartland dealer, along with being Maine's #1 fifth-wheel dealer 2 years in a row. Browse through the new 2012 Heartland models or take advantage of closeout prices on 2011s. Scott's welcomes almost anything in trade, financing available too. Scott's Recreation, Route 202 in Manchester, and their new Turner location on Route 4.
All of us at Moody's Collision Centers would like to thank you for supporting us for over 30 years.
We all own stock in Moody's and have a vested interest in you and your vehicle.
The people at Moody's Collision Centers are part of the community, and our reputation is very important to us.
We take pride in our work and guarantee our repairs for as long as you own your vehicle.
At Moody's Collision Center, we care about our customers.
So when your insurance company asks where you want to go, tell them Moody's Collision Centers. 4 convenient locations: Gorham, Scarborough, Biddeford, and now Portland.
Hey, are you Bob Crowley?
Hey, yeah.
Are you going to Ossipee Trail?
Yes, I am.
Sweet. Get in.
People will do whatever they gotta do to get to Ossipee Trail Motor Sales, Route 25, Gorham.
You're watching Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Southern Maine Motors, out to be Maine's #1 Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep dealership. One more thing, Greg, I want to touch off about RKS. I forgot to mention. They were raising some money this weekend for cancer.
Yep.
So a lot of people up in the middle part of the state might have heard that I was going to be in a dunk tank on the radio station and raise some money. So they went to high bidder. Not a lot of money, but they raised $53 for a guy to throw a ball at, because it was a guy that could throw a ball. So took one ball and I went in the dunk tank, right?
Right.
So it was pretty nasty in the dunk tank, and but it was the water was warm, it was cool, and it's all for charity. So then some guy comes out of the crowd and says, "Hey, listen, I'll give you $100. Ben Rowe gets up there." So Ben, being a good sport he is, he gets up there. Well, as he's climbing up, he says, "Are you getting out of the tank?" I go, "No, I don't know how. I don't think there's a step." I says, "We're going to get you when you fall in here. Then you can help me by pushing my derriere up over, And so Ben wasn't real thrilled about that idea. And there's some photos of us, having a great time. And these are the things they try to do up there. And it was pretty cool. And
so they dunked you in one throw?
One throw, done. Big guy was down and in the water. So
it probably took like a hair to trigger the.
Not even a challenge. So it was pretty cool. But later on, and I don't show these pictures, but I treated it like Hef's Grotto. I was in there, and there was 4 or 5 women floating around with me. We turned it into Sweet Pea's Grotto, but we'll show them in a later episode. But it was a good time. But back to the racing part of thing, and enough of me and my grotto. Renee, I'm introduce you to Renee Thompson. She's going to start helping us out.
Right.
And she was a little nervous the first time, trying to get a female side of perspective. So you're not always looking at me and this big beefy guy. So Renee went down to Beech Ridge to help me out, and we caught up with 4 legend drivers, and we wanted to talk to them about the opportunity that it's presented to them to go to race at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Right, and here's a little known fact for a lot of people that don't know a lot of stuff. Renee is actually dating Steve Benacasa, who's a Wildcat racer.
Yeah, so she's
involved. She's not just some female that you grabbed off the street.
No, and she's trying to learn more and more about motorsports, so I thought it was great, and she's going to do a lot more with us, so enjoy this piece, and you see her, tell her she did a good job, because she did for being her first time.
Right.
So enjoy this piece on the legend drivers and hear what they have to say.
I'm standing here with NASCAR legend, reigning champion Bob Weymouth, driver of the 399 car. Bob, I wanted to talk to you about the racing series at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. What do you feel was the lure of, or the attraction of the NASCAR's racing at New Hampshire?
I believe that it's just in front of the big crowds. Loudon is owned by the same organization that owns this racing organization, U.S. Legend Cars. So it was just a perfect fit for us to race at their own personal racetrack.
We're now midway through the racing series at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. You're sort of closing in the gap with the leader there, Sean Buffington. And I saw on the NASCAR website that they sort of compared the two of you on the front page and saying that you're pretty much dominating weekends. And how do you feel what do you feel are your chances of sort of unseating his reign on that series?
I actually think it's quite good. I've got a new car coming. Should be done hopefully for the next race we have there. With the new car, I think I'll have the latest and greatest stuff to be competitive with the top guys from Southern New England.
And you're first in points right now. What are your plans for, your plans for keeping that throughout the rest of the season?
I got to stay consistent. This racing's all about consistency, not crashing, having top 5 finishes every weekend. As long as you get top 5 finishes every weekend, you should do real well in the points.
Well, it was great talking to you, Bob. I look forward to seeing you out on the track.
Thank you very much.
I'm standing here with Ed Getty, driver of the 10 Legend car, and Ed, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the series at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and what is the excitement that you've received from racing at Loudon?
Well, I think the competition was very intense, to say the least. We had 26 guys there that they wanted to put on a good show, and we put on a show. It was a long race. We had a lot of, I'd say fender benders more than anything else, but it was exciting, and we also got all the attention, I think, of all the NASCAR crews. They were keeping a close eye on what we were doing over there, and it was exciting. I mean, to have the biggest crowd that we've ever raced for, even at 10 o'clock Sunday morning, was pretty neat.
That's awesome. I also wanted to talk to you about. You've been a huge supporter of the Legend Series. You've been racing for over 10 years. I even think I heard you were past president of NASCAR. How does it feel to race for a series that you seem to be so proud of?
I just, some days I'm amazed, really, that I'm here racing with these guys. I mean, from 15 and a half to 72. I mean, talk about a series. And being past president, I know how much work it takes to run an organization and also race at the same time. So as I step down from that, I'm still on the board of directors, and I help the president any way I can, trying to coordinate all the car shows for the winter and do what I can to help out, because it's a lot of work. And our series now, we have 3 tech inspectors and a huge availability of parts, and it's just a great series. And I think whether anybody is working their way up from go-karts or mini stocks into Legends, or down from late models or pro stocks into a series, it fits everybody.
Well, you seem to be having a really good year. I love the Legend cars. I just have to tell you that. I'm a huge fan. And it's just because on the track you seem to have a lot of self-respect, and you also seem to have respect for the other drivers, which I think is most impressive out there.
Well, you have to earn that through years, I think. I ask a lot of these fellows from time to time, how can it I can follow somebody around within inches and not ever touch them, and yet they can't seem to manage to do that every once in a while. And it takes practice. You really, really have to practice. It takes years and years and years of this car, because it feels kind of like it's out of control when you first start to drive one of these. So once you get used to that, then you can pretty much work with that. And I'm very fortunate to have 2 cars, and it's kind of nice to have the backup car, so if something does happen, I can bring the other car out and continue to race sometimes 2 and 3 times a week.
Well, I look forward to seeing you on the track, and good luck, and have a good rest of the season.
Thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'm standing here with Legend car driver Evan Bollier, driver of the 56 Legend car. They've been giving a huge opportunity recently with driving with the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Evan Bollier just had a 4th place win, right?
Yeah, 4th place finish, yep.
They were in front of a huge NASCAR Sprint Cup crowd. And Evan, I heard through the grapevine that someone near and dear to your heart played a key role in getting the Legend cars to race at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Do you want to tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was about 3 or 4 years ago when Bruton Smith first bought the track off of Bob Bear and everything. Bruton Smith owns Legends cars, and we found an opportunity right there. And my dad was the first one to be there at the Speedway and everything, ready to pursue it. And we worked 3 years through all of this, and we're finally racing at Loudon, and it's a very, very cool deal. They're all excited about it. We all love going there, and just 3 years ago it was just a pipe dream, and we are doing it.
What was the most exciting part about racing in front of the NASCAR Sprint Cup crowd?
Well, I mean, it's that we don't race again in front of a crowd that big. We race on Thursday night crowds and Saturday night crowds. We don't race in front of thousands of people on a Sunday, and so you're nervous. But once you're in the race car, it's just another race, and we were trying to do everything that we could to win that race, and we were lucky. We came home 4th place, and car was in one piece, so it was a good race.
Now you've been racing here at Beech Ridge. You've raced at New Hampshire. What are the differences between the 2 tracks?
There's a huge difference between both tracks. Here you got to be smooth. You got to be in and out of the gas, easy. Over there, it's totally different than anything that most of us up here are used to. We don't have any tracks up here where you dive into the corner, slam on the brakes, slam on the guy's bumper in front of you, and it's real aggressive racing down there compared to up here, and it's a big adjustment. And we're just now starting to get it. I need to get better as a driver, you know, the right brake points and when to get back on the gas, how to handle the car in getting back into the gas. It's a lot different than here where you have your momentum up all the time, and but it's a lot of fun at the same time. It's very intense racing, but it is a lot of fun.
Well, Evan, you're having a great year. We look forward to seeing you out on the track. Good luck for the rest of the season.
All right, thank you, and we're back at Loudon in September before the Cup race as well.
Thank you. I'm standing here in front of Flying Ryan Hammer, who drives the Circle 2 car for the Legend Series. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about your opportunity at New Hampshire Motor Speedway and your most recent race in front of the NASCAR crowd. What would you say was the most exciting part about that for you?
Well, I was excited to see how many people there were watching us. I mean, we don't usually have a lot. Like, we have a lot here today, but I mean, at NASCAR, there was just tons and thousands of people watching, so I was giving it my all to give them the best show ever.
You used to race go-karts at the 106 Raceway in New Hampshire. Now you are a Legend Car rookie. What would you say your year has been like so far racing a Legend Car?
Well, I would say that racing the Legend Car, I'm catching on a lot faster than I did go-karts. I mean, with go-karts, it was pretty hard to get in, top 3 and top 5, and then later on win the championship. And now racing the Legend Car, I'm just catching on quicker, running up with the regular drivers, and I'm going pretty well.
I just wanted to say, I noticed on your website that you are 2 months shy of being 16.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give your peers if they came to you and said, hey, I want to race a Legend Car? What would be the first piece of advice you would give them?
I would say go right for it. I mean, the Legend Car is the best thing out there. It's a blast. It's NASCAR sanctioned, so they get a lot of reputation. We're trying to, furthermore increase the whole community and getting everybody in our Legend Car, but it's definitely something to get into. It's fun, it's fast, and you go to a lot of great tracks, and the people here are great also. There's no bumping, no banging. It's all just nice racing.
You've had a fantastic year. You placed 5th at the last race during the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. I just want to congratulate you, wish you the best of luck, and we look forward to seeing you out on the track.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Patman's Redemption and Agency Liquor Store is located at 95 Tanberg Trail in Windham, Maine. With over 400 feet of hard liquor and 15 doors of ice-cold beer and soda, Patman's can handle all of your beverage needs. And if it's wine on your agenda, we have over 300 varieties in stock. Then when the party's over, Patman's can handle all of your Maine returnables, and we welcome all bottle drives. And if you're late for the race, drop off the bottles and pick up the cash at your convenience.
Hey, this is Pat Man himself, just letting you know that Pat Man's is your one-stop shop for all your thirsty needs.
Clark's Car Crushing has been a family-owned and operated business since 1978. We do everything from crushing cars, handling industrial scraps, to buying the scrap metal right out of the back of your pickup. Copper, brass, stainless steel, aluminum, you name it, we'll buy it. We have roll-off containers of all sizes for industrial accounts. We'll handle the legwork with full drop-off and pickup services. So for a professional job, guaranteed honest weights, and top dollar paid statewide, come see the Clark family in Farmingdale, Maine. Clark's Car Crushing. Don't fix it, scrap it.
Is it time to replace that old car, but past credit problems are getting in the way? At JT Motors, credit issues are a thing of the past. We have vehicles for any need. Growing family? How about a minivan? With winter here, come in and browse our great selection of four-wheel drive utilities. With a low down payment, you can qualify for this program despite those past credit issues. That's JT Motors, 650 Roosevelt Trail, Windham, where you always drive away with a smile on your face.
You're watching Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Scott's Recreation, now at 3 convenient locations. Go to scottsrecreation.com to view our inventory. Award Champs, the official award supplier of Mainly Motorsports.
To order copies of a show, send a check or money order for $15, shipping and handling included, to Mainly Motorsports, 326 Roosevelt Trail, Windham, Maine, 04062. And please add a description of the show.
Well, Greg, we mentioned in our opening segment about Summerfest coming up, and
Yep.
you know that's probably the biggest thing, other than the Hall of Fame banquet that the Maine Vintage organization does. And without any organization, and if it's a good organization and it's getting stuff done in a timely manner and it's getting it done right, it's because there's a woman heavily involved.
Right.
And Maine Vintage is no different than anything else.
They got a few of them.
Yeah,
but
yeah, they
yes.
got a few of them, but I call her the straw that stirs the drink. She's the one, when I need an answer, I get it, is Gail Libby.
Yeah.
And she's very, very, and it's, you know what's really nice is her dad, Phil Libby, was very instrumental with Bob Morris starting this organization. Phil passed away a few years ago. It's nice to see her and her brothers pick up the torch from Phil and continue on with his dream and his passion, you know, so it's great. So you got a chance to hear Bruce Elder talk to Gail about, you know, her and the Maine Vintage and the people behind the scenes that make it happen. And after Gail, we have Frank Dory, and people are going to go, who's Frank Dory, you know? But when they see him on Mainly Motorsports here, they're going to say, that's Frank Dory.
Right.
You know, the guy is at every show that the Maine Vintage organization is at, whether it's the Northeast Motorsports Expo, which is less than 6 months away, Race and Preview, or Summerfest, or anything they do, and he has a beautiful display of old, I don't want to call it artifacts, but past pictures and photos.
Pictures,
a lot of them from
programs,
Beach Ridge, but
a lot of
programs,
stuff, right.
everything from the racers of yesteryear.
Right, yep.
And
you know, I know one of the things that the Maine Vintage Race Car Association is trying to do is get more guys like my age in the mid-30s, early 20s to mid-30s involved. And if you're available on August 14th to go down to Summerfest, then that's the day to go down and get to, you know, just go up and talk to these people and say, hey, how can I be involved? I loved racing when I was a little kid, and I want to try to keep that
if it wasn't for
memories going, you know.
Bob Morris, Phil Libby's of the world, Bob Libby's, Gardner Levitt, Dave Davos, you know, the guys that have been inducted into this Hall of Fame, Jeff
started
Stevens,
everything that we're
Dick
keeping
Walsingham,
going.
Homer Drew. We wouldn't be sitting at Beach Ridge
No.
or Unity or 95 or Spot or anywhere on a Saturday night, you know. And so get out and support them, join their membership, join their organization. It's cheap money. You know what? For the money it costs, I don't know if it's $15, $25, whatever it is, I just look forward to when they get the newsletter out every 2 or 3 months. Just some different things going on. And and then down at Summerfest, you'll have the Wicked Good organization that will have a bunch of stuff on display. And they just raced this past weekend up to Speedway 95. So that's totally different. It's along the same line, but it's totally different. They race. So there's a chance to meet Rosie Gary and that organization, a lot of those guys that are heavily involved in keeping
But you know what's good
the
about those
tradition
two
together.
organizations is that they're basically the same type of deal, and they work together.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
they work hand in hand about different things.
Yeah,
so.
no, that's good. So enjoy these interviews with Gail and Frank, and then we're going to take a break. And when we come back, Bruce Elder's going to take you through a walkthrough of the Mobile Museum, what they had on display a few weeks ago at Reynolds Motorsports, and you can see at Summerfest. So enjoy these next two segments on Mainly Motorsports.
Okay, we're here at Reynolds Motorsports on Father's Day weekend with our annual Maine Motorsports display, and I have Gail Libby with me, who is the treasurer of our Maine Vintage Race Car Association and the chair of the Mobile Museum Committee. And Gail, just what a wonderful job your committee has done, and you've got to be gratified at how this is coming out.
Well, I've got to be the luckiest chairperson ever because we have a great team. Everybody has their different strengths, things that they know how to do, like to do, make good recommendations, and you can't do it alone, and I haven't. All of this is totally a team effort, and we brainstorm what we're going to do, and if you've noticed inside now, there's a lot of different pictures of other tracks, which is one of the focus points that we're trying to work on now, really kind of spread it out. We just set up something inside for Spud Speedway, and also this time, for the first time, we put in photos from the Maine Mall shows, which is something a little more current that I thought people might be interested in. So there's things going on all the time, and also now people are starting to come forward with artifacts and donations and things like that. So we're getting to choose some nice things to go inside.
Right. And we're wondering where we're going to keep all this memorabilia. So it's been terrific in one way that we've been given so much, but now our problem is how are we going to house all of this? Right. We did go through the trailer quickly and did note the fact that as the trailer goes from one track to another, your committee does a nice job of highlighting that track. And we mentioned Spud Speedway. Yes. First time the Mobile Museum had made a trip to Aroostook County.
That's true. That's true. We had a crew that was willing to haul it up there and stay there for a few days. So we made a splash up country. So that's good.
Absolutely. And we want to mention this being Father's Day weekend. We hope that folks will notice in the background here, of course, Gail's dad, Phil Libby, undoubtedly one of the greatest racers ever out of our state, and a guy who was also a historian and was such a foundation builder of this sport. So this has got to be a special thing for you as well.
Well, it's very healing to work on this, and Dad had a lot of stuff. So if you look in the background here, you can see the display boards. Mm-hmm. He actually made those for Beech Ridge Speedway 50th anniversary. Yeah. That's when he made those. So he kind of started this whole presentation himself, but he just saved a lot of things, had a lot of things stored, and so when we first started out, we had some things to choose from to start with, but he would be very happy with what we have. I know.
Absolutely. I'm sure he's smiling down on this effort, and Gail, it's just been terrific to have you with the enthusiasm and the commitment you've made to this. So I can say on behalf of this whole organization a real sincere thank you to your efforts.
You're very welcome, and every one of these events is lots of fun. Get to meet people I haven't seen for a long time. I get to hear their comments about the pictures, and like I said, it's very healing for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Okay, here with Frank Dory and his display, and Frank, you've certainly been faithful to this organization. You, I think, display at virtually every event that you possibly can, and have some of the wonderful memorabilia from up through the years of racing in Maine, and certainly appreciate all the time that you put into this.
Yeah, thank you, Bruce.
Maybe you could talk a little bit about some of the kinds of things that you've collected and that you typically display. I know probably this is only a part of what you have.
A lot of programs, old programs from the 60s and 50s. A lot of Frankie Moses pictures.
Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff from Steve Pellerin and Andy Cusack.
Yeah. This stuff, you have to see it. You have to get up close, and I'm not sure they can get some of this on camera, but there's just great history here. As I look over the pictures and the programs and so on, it brings back some great memories for me.
Yeah, a lot of old-time people that I've seen at the Ridge a lot.
Not that I'm an old-time person, though, right?
No, you're not old. Not at all, Bruce.
Well, I tell you, it's much appreciated, and people need to get out to these events. We hope that Steve covering this on Mainly Motorsports will kind of introduce it to some folks that may otherwise not even know that these things are going on. But again, you know that the Maine Vintage Association very much appreciates the dedication that you've shown to being a part of this whole effort.
Yeah, thank you, Bruce.
Okay.
Life in Maine is all about outdoor fun and being close to nature. Southern Maine Jeep is all about delivering you the best selection and the best prices at one location. Live it up with a new 2011 Jeep Grand Cherokee, increased horsepower and mileage, or go for the all-new look of the Jeep Compass 4x4. If Maine had a state car, it would be the Jeep. No other vehicle has the capabilities that come standard on every Jeep. No other dealer is working as hard to be #1 as Southern Maine Motors.
Have a ticket but need a ride? Let VIP take you to the hottest events, including Entertainer of the Year Taylor Swift at Gillette Stadium, June 25th and 26th. Or country music superstar and Grammy Award winner Kenny Chesney, August 27th. And September 25th, don't miss the NASCAR Sylvania Sprint Cup at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Leave the driving to VIP and let VIP take you to the hottest events. Call or reserve online at VIPchartercoaches.com.
You can't even believe that it happened. You just don't think it can happen to you or anyone you know. This is so hard for us right now. They were like our family. I can't believe that they're gone, and I'm never gonna forget them. You really can't describe the loss of someone that you love.
You're watching Mainly Motorsports, brought to you this week by LKQ. Any part, any repair, anywhere. Route 202, Gorham.
We're just starting a brief tour of the Maine Motorsports Mobile Museum, and as you come in the door, the entry is in the rear, you have a poster for each of the Hall of Fame classes starting in 2004 right up through 2011. So a great way to have a quick recap of those legends of racing in the state of Maine who have been honored by induction into the Maine Motorsports Hall of Fame. So that's something one would want to spend a little time with. Opposite those posters that are in a frame, we have helmets signed by a number of the inductees. I'm not sure just when the helmet started, but one year, I think Phil Libby started this tradition with a shirt to have all the inductees sign. One year there was a jacket, and then it has gone to helmets, and that's certainly a nice keepsake of each Hall of Fame class. We also have a plaque up on the wall for the significant contributors, which we have honored over the last 3 years, of people who made a profound impact on racing in Maine. They are honored within the hall with what is called a significant contributors award. Moving down the trailer, of course, for many years the racing in Maine was sanctioned by an association of the racers called the Maine State Stock Car Racing Association, and we have a cabinet displaying some of the memorabilia. There was a flag, there are jackets that would say Maine State Stock Car Racing Association, and for many, many years, probably from about 1949 up into the I'd say the 80s, the Racing Association actually sanctioned the rules. The rules book was constructed by a board of directors with input from the competitors. There was a president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and the association not only made the rules, they hired the officials, they made out the payoff, and that was kind of a unique thing around the country to have that last as long as it did. That was prior to Beech Ridge becoming a NASCAR track. As we work down through the trailer, there are some nice displays of programs from the various tracks, highlighting some special events, winners over the years, and that's kind of down the left-hand side with photos and write-ups on a number of the great drivers who are, many of them now, in the Maine Motorsports Hall of Fame. Across the top, a number of pictures of many of the race cars. For many years there was a display in the Maine Mall, for example, and some of those are from those years, also probably from the display at the Auburn Mall. In other places, pictures of the tracks in the early years. Opposite that, a number of newspaper articles that have been captured over the years, more programs, and again, special write-ups on some of the major races held up through the years. The Getty Opens, for example, at Oxford, there's a display of those. That was kind of the forerunner to the Oxford 250. So a lot of that has been captured and displayed here in cases. As the Mobile Museum moves around the state and goes to the various tracks, the Mobile Museum Committee will try to feature whatever track a Mobile Museum is going to. For example, it went up to an event that was in Presque Isle, hosted by the folks at Spud Speedway, and that was the first time the Mobile Museum had gone up to Aroostook County, but there was a display featuring competitors, and that's down on the right-hand side a little bit further down. About halfway down the trailer, the mobile museum, there is a screen that plays a number of old tapes of racing in the early years. We just caught glimpses of one with Phil Libby and Ralph Cusack. That would have been back around probably 1960, 61. Along in there, because Ralph Cusack in the Blue Deuce, Phil Libby in the yellow and black 99. And so many times they would finish 1-2. Other unique events, I mentioned highlighting the speedways. The trailer had last been up to an event in Presque Isle, highlighting the racing over the years at the Spud Speedway. Some trophies, because a lot of memorabilia has been donated to the Maine Vintage Race Car Association, and they kind of rotate things through the mobile museum. Various trophies, checkered flags, helmets, race uniforms. There's just a wealth of memorabilia that records the great history of racing in our state. Some uniforms from the early days. I mentioned, of course, the many years of the Maine State Stock Car Racing Association, which for a time not only sanctioned the races at the Beech Ridge Motor Speedway, but also at Oxford Plains for a while and at the Arundel Speedway. Things that have been donated from the families of some of the Hall of Famers. Of course, one of the drivers who went in this year was Dave Dion, and of course Dave Moody had done a nice book entitled Life Wide Open, Dave Dion, No Holds Barred, and that's a great read for anyone who enjoys the great history of racing in Maine. Dave, of course, multi-time winner, one of the drivers to win the Oxford 250 3 times, and just a host of opens at the main track. So Dave, of course, a very popular driver among many Maine fans. More pictures on the other side, which would be the left side as you come in the entrance from the back side of the mobile museum. Again, capturing some of the great racers, car owners, and folks who helped build a foundation for the sport of racing in Maine. And it will certainly bring back memories for any of the folks who enjoyed the racing back in the early days. This will bring back just a flood of memories. And throughout this museum, it's impossible to capture it in just a few minutes, as we are trying to do a quick overview. Of course, another great Hall of Famer. You'll see plaques of Hall of Famers in the front of the mobile museum. One highlighted there is, of course, both Bob and Dick Bear. Bob Bear, of course, a generous supporter of this effort in helping us make this mobile museum possible, and all the other greats. I won't try to mention them all, just won't have the time now, but I'm certain that anyone with an interest in racing and the history of racing would enjoy touring this just outstanding museum.
Now, the mobile museum is only a part of what you'll see at Summerfest on August 14th.
A lot of the stuff you can see in the museum, you can walk around at Summerfest and see the reincarnation of it, or
and touch it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so mark your calendar, August 14th at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway.
Right, in the pit area, I believe.
It's $5 admission, but one of the best $5 you'll spend all summer.
You can spend all afternoon looking at...
And you get something to eat.
Right.
And Darlene says there's all kinds of food, so the big guys will be there. All right, we'll be right back on Mainely Motorsports.
5 years ago, I went shopping for my family's first camper. I didn't like the prices, and I didn't like the way I was treated. A year later, I opened up Scott's Recreation.
Today, Scott's Recreation is Maine's exclusive multi-line Heartland dealer, along with being Maine's #1 fifth-wheel dealer 2 years in a row. Browse through the new 2012 Heartland models or take advantage of closeout prices on 2011s. Scott's welcomes almost anything in trade, financing available too. Scott's Recreation, Route 202 in Manchester, and our sister company, Holton Power Sports, North Street, Holton.
Teacher, car salesman, take advantage of me.
You didn't go to Ospey Trail?
No, I went to the other guys.
Other guys.
Don't bother going to the other guys. Go to Ossipee Trail Motor Sales, Route 25, Gorham.
Patman's Redemption and Agency Liquor Store is located at 95 Tanberg Trail in Windham, Maine. With over 400 feet of hard liquor and 15 doors of ice-cold beer and soda, Patman's can handle all of your beverage needs. And if it's wine on your agenda, we have over 300 varieties in stock. Then when the party's over, Patman's can handle all of your Maine returnables, and we welcome all bottle drives. And if you're late for the race, drop off the bottles and pick up the cash at your convenience.
Hey, this is Pat Man himself, just letting you know that Pat Man's is your one-stop shop for all your thirsty needs.
You're watching Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Southern Maine Motors, out to be Maine's #1 Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep dealership. And there's where I'm going to be this Sunday, Greg, right there at the Make-A-Wish Benefit Tractor Pull. A benefit for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Southern Maine Garden Tractor Club puts this on. This is the 4th annual one, and they're getting close to that $10,000 mark as far as raising per year, not just over 4 years. I mean, they raise $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, and the whole event starts at 9. They bring some Make-A-Wish kids in, and they give them the opportunities to pull on the tractors. And it's not about winners or losers that day. Everybody's a winner.
Right.
And what a great time. I've never participated and gone. We've had footage on there. So I'm really excited this time to actually make an appearance.
Trip down and go.
They're excited to have me there, and and we're going to do some interviews with some of the organizers of the event and talk to a couple of the kids, because this is a big deal to these kids,
Yeah, anything that makes awareness and benefits and raises money for the
So,
Make-A-Wish Foundation is a good cause.
And it's open to the general public. So 448 Boom Road, Charlie Cole's place. Show up, park in a field across the street, park on the road. It's open at 9. At noontime, they do a barbecue lunch, and they say the food that people bring is just amazing. And then the auction starts at 1 right after that, when that's where they raise money. And there's a lot of people that have donated stuff. There's trophies, there's door prizes, there's a show tractor exhibit, the potluck dinner, the barbecue. I mean, everything that's going on, the live auction. Get down there and support. If you want more information, go to southernmainegardenclubtractor.com, and you can get the information. You got a phone number there. Just 468-4489. Talk to Ernie if you have any questions, how you can participate, how you can help. Just great for that organization.
Right, and it's this Sunday, August 7th.
August 7th. So get down, stop over, say hi to Steve, me and whoever else is tagging along in Mainly Motorsports camp. I got an army now. It's I'm like Arnold Palmer, Arnie's army, right?
Yeah.
I about look as old as Arnie, don't I? Got my glasses on.
Now, yeah.
Yeah, no, so yeah, I do have to wear glasses once in a while. So Greg was getting a little fuzzy and blurry.
Yeah, so I look like a big dot.
Yeah, a big dot, right? But, there's a lot going on, and, just racing, it's winding down. I mean, it stinks to say this, but it's winding down.
Yeah, we're in the dog days of summer now.
Dog days of summer. And next week's episode, we'll have July's Driver of the Months.
Driver of the Months from July.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. These guys that have won it so far this year have all been pretty pleased, and this was the last week to try to solidify
that's the episode where they were on the edge of their seats all at home.
Did I get it? Did I get that LKQ hat? Did I get that LKQ sweatshirt? So it's been pretty fun, and these guys have been worthy winners. And I think there's going to be some surprises from the month of July. People think, well, what did he do? And then you go, I guess he did do something.
Yeah.
So
next week's the first week of August racing, folks. So you got to get up on your horse and start working towards that LKQ hat and sweatshirt.
Yeah, and the plaque donated by Award Champs. Yeah. And speaking of Award Champs, you see them on the screen there. They're the guys that put them trophies together.
Yeah.
from my show. They do the trophies for Beechridge. They do some of the other trophies for Pass, and they
do everything. I mean, Todd's a great guy, and if you need anything done,
sponsor
hit him
plaques.
up.
You know, we've had a lot of people over the years that have taken us, gone to him and
He
done
treats
sponsor
people real
plaques.
well, so.
They can't believe the affordability for the product they get.
Yes.
So, we're going to do a piece on Todd at the end of the year. Again, we did last year, showing some of the products that he has available.
Right. Yeah, he's a great guy. I mean, I have him do stuff for our team.
Yeah.
So.
And he caters to the racers.
And he knows how most races are. Should I get this in 2 days?
Last minute or cheap,
right?
But you wait till you see the hardware that we come up with for this year's Mainly Motorsports 400. And if you want more information on that, go right to the website, www.mmstv400.com. See some of the guys that are already pre-registered.
Right.
See the rules. See the sponsors. We got a great list of sponsors. Upcoming show, we're going to run down some of the people that are getting behind this to make this happen for these kids, because this is a big deal.
Yeah, it is, and it's going to be a good day. You can tell.
And we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're gonna talk about me, my hula hoop girls, how I've been trying to recruit hula hoop girls, and we're getting ready to head to Unity Raceway this Saturday night and have a great time with George, Marco. Marco was on the mic all weekend promoting the big guy in a hula hoop on the front stretch. So. Luckily, I'm going to bring some pretty ladies with this big guy to hopefully take some attention off me trying to shake it and bake
because
it.
of my commitments that I have, I won't be able to be there, but my eyes are happy.
Oh, yeah, because, baby, we're going to shake and bake on the front stretch of Unity, and I'm going to have 3 or 4 of my girls. Half has 3. I'm bringing 4, right?
This is getting out of hand.
Nope, this is getting good. George is having Miss Beachorama, so I don't know if it's just you show up and look beachy or you show up and look beachy in a bikini. But you can win an award from, you can be Miss Beachorama 2011. So
George is always trying to think of something.
Oh yeah, me and George,
spectacular.
He's like me. He's full of schemes and dreams.
Right.
But bring it out Saturday night, Unity Raceway. We're going to spend some more time talking about it, but we're going to take a break and we'll be right back on Mainly Motorsports.
Clark's Car Crushing has been a family-owned and operated business since 1978. We do everything from crushing cars, handling industrial scraps, to buying the scrap metal right out of the back of your pickup. Copper, brass, stainless steel, aluminum, you name it, we'll buy it. We have roll-off containers of all sizes for industrial accounts. We'll handle the legwork with full drop-off and pickup services. So for a professional job, guaranteed honest weights, and top dollar paid statewide, come see the Clark family in Farmingdale, Maine. Clark's Car Crushing. Don't fix it, scrap it.
You're watching Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Scott's Recreation, now at 3 convenient locations. Go to scottsrecreation.com to view our inventory.
At Southern Maine Motors, we're celebrating Jeep's 70th anniversary with our spring events. Get the vehicle you want at a price no one else can touch. Like a 2011 Jeep Compass, lease for only $239 a month for 39 months. Or a 2011 Jeep Grand Cherokee, lease for only $299 a month. Plus, right now, used car values are at an all-time high. Bring in your own vehicle and drive off in a brand new car. With savings this big, it's no wonder Southern Maine Motors is out to be Maine's #1 Chrysler Dodge Jeep dealer. Visit southernmainmotors.com.
All of us at Moody's Collision Centers would like to thank you for supporting us for over 30 years.
We all own stock in Moody's and have a vested interest in you and your vehicle.
The people at Moody's Collision Centers are part of the community, and our reputation is very important to us.
We take pride in our work and guarantee our repairs for as long as you own your vehicle.
At Moody's Collision Center, we care about our customers.
So when your insurance company asks where you want to go, tell them Moody's Collision Centers. 4 convenient locations: Gorham, Scarborough, Biddeford, and now Portland.
You're watching Mainly Motorsports, brought to you this week by LKQ. Any part, any repair, anywhere. Route 202, Gorham. And then we just talked about Unity. We're going to talk some more, but here's the winners there in the late model division. David Folsom. I think he's either the point leader or he's closing right up on the point lead there in the late model division.
Yeah, and then in the late model Pro 4s, Steve Radcliffe won.
And there's my motorhome savior, my all-time favorite jump starter man, Kyle McAlpine in the Keystone Automotive Wildcat division.
Yep, and then in the Flyer 4, 09X of Ryan Ripley won that race.
Yep, former champion over at Wiscasset. And the Monster Mini, Zach Audette. Zach has been getting it done this year.
Yeah.
He let me know a couple weeks ago how many wins he's got. Sent me a message. Hey,
Then in the Teen Thunder, it was Austin Clemens.
Yeah, out of Norwich Walk. And then the Challenger division, Chad Folsom and Chad had that class is growing and growing and growing. Chad's still winning and winning and winning.
And then in the 4-cylinder Enduro, it was Shadow Folsom out of Skowhegan.
Yeah, they just brought that class back, did away with the Super Street. So
right.
Let me tell you something. I forgot to mention this earlier at Unity. Big hardware this weekend at Unity. Pass type of hardware. Not as big as the Mainly Motorsports 400, but big hardware at Unity for all the divisions. Three-tier trophies at Unity. 4-season synthetic. This was done up at the. This was one of those auctions that we did at the Northeast Motorsports Expo.
Lee set up.
Lee from 4-season synthetic was part of my Racing Towards a Cure, Cancer Relay for Life team. Put out a sponsorship package to any track or tour or organization. It was $1,000 sponsorship plus $500 in trophies. So it was a $1,500 package. Went to the high bidder. George and Troy Haney up at Spud were bidding back and forth, and George got it. He bid $1,000 to get it. So basically it was a check wash for a check wash. George wrote a $1,000 check to the American Cancer Society, and Lee wrote from 4-season synthetic, wrote a $1,000 check to George Fernal and Unity Raceway. But what George got out of it is he got a $500 value voucher for trophies, and he's thrown in a little bit, and now we are going to have some big hardware at Unity. These guys are racing for the same trophies that you'll get, basically on the Pass Tour.
Right, in any big race, pretty much,
and Award Champs is putting them together. So between the trophies they're racing for, seeing me on the front straight shake and bake with my wife Leanne, Kendra, trying to get another friend of ours, Melissa Furlan, to come up and shake and bake it, and then talking to a guy today, so my wife won't do it, or my girlfriend I should say, said, hey, you not a hula hoop? Well, yeah. I said, well, I'll see you next Saturday. Where? I said, we're going to Unity, baby, right in the front stretch. I said, and if you want a little extra title, you wear a bikini, maybe you can, win Miss Beach-A-Rama.
Beach-A-Rama up to Unity.
So, it's good, and, George, things have been tough. I mean, it was it was in the Bangor Daily News a couple weeks ago, things are tough up there, the car count-wise, crowd-wise, so we're reaching out to try to help out. We're bringing up some go-karts from Richmond because we race Friday night and Sunday, so I reached out to those guys, say, listen, let's go up. Bring as many as we can. I got like a half a dozen or so commitment today, maybe even more. We're going to have them on display. The kids will be there answering questions, some autograph cards, people coming out of the stands. And then at intermission, George is going to let us shuttle them around to the pits, take the go-karts, put them on the track, and let the kids just ride around on a big track. That's going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
To DJ Shaw, obviously he's not going to be there.
Right.
Wouldn't be no big deal. You know what? But to Ivan Kafel, a 9-year-old kid, that's going to be a big deal. Taking his go-kart around the same track that guys like Ralph Nason have won on, Mike Rowe, Ben Rowe, Johnny Clark have won races on that track. The Folsoms now, Jeff Burgess. They've won races on this track, and I'm now on this track,
Yeah, it's that's a big deal when kids jump onto a big track, It's like, whoa, look, my eyes are open.
Yeah, so we're going to, obviously be controlled. We're not going to just turn them loose, and go, but it'll be a controlled thing, and I think it's going to be a good thing for the kids, so.
Unlike the hula hoop contest, which is not going to be controlled.
Listen, so all you fans at Unity, I don't know how they're doing this, but if it's doing on a fan vote, you know what? A little charity for the big guy. I mean, I didn't grow up in a hula hoop. I was a very athletic young man. I tried racing. I sucked at it. So maybe I could do something and win a hula hoop contest.
Maybe.
And I don't know what to wear. What do I wear? I think I'm going to get a beach shirt, beach shorts. I have never in my entire life wore a pair of sandals. I think men in sandals that don't look good.
I'm having all I can do not to laugh.
Or flip-flops.
Visuals.
I may show up at Unity Raceway in a pair of flip-flops. I've never ever wore a pair of flip-flops in my life. I may show up in the pot, in uniform, to support George and his staff.
The big kahuna.
The biggest kahuna, but it's going to be great. You're going to go over the lawnmowers on Friday night.
Yeah. That's going to be my first forte at the Saco Pathfinder's lawnmowers.
It's like, cut you loose, Daniel-san.
Yeah.
Right? Like Mr. Miyagi and Daniel-san, cut you loose. So
Send the floor.
But race season's winding down, so get out and support your organizations, the dragways, the lawnmowers, the go-karts, the racetracks.
I will say this about going to the lawnmower races. I'm not driving one. No, I'm not doing it. I know a lot of people that have tried, and I know a lot of people that have got hurt.
Right here, dude, the 2007 North Saco Pathfinder Lawnmower Racing Association track champion.
Right. Well,
and I got the hardware to prove it.
Well,
and you ask those guys about me over there. I want you to have, at least ask Charlie Gassett his opinion on Steve Perry and listen to what he has to say.
Right, on camera?
On camera.
Okay.
This has been a great episode of Mainly Motorsports. We got some different things. Don't forget, get to Unity Raceway this Saturday night. Support the big guy on the front stretch. Support Greg over there at the Lawnmower Races Friday night, and we'll see you next week right here on Mainly Motorsports.
Over and out.
You're watching TWC TV, only on Time Warner Cable.